Hey everybody, you're watching Ready Set Drone, and today my buddy Park and I are going to take a look at the DHC-2. This is a fixed wing aircraft, brushless motor, and stay tuned, we'll check it out. Alright, so thanks to GearBest, first of all, for providing the DHC-2. It's fixed wing. It's a 5-channel brushless motor, and it caught my attention because I thought, you know, brushless motor is always a good thing. High wing is a little easier to fly than low wing, right? So
totally.
Good beginner kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a good trainer.
And Park is kind of an expert at flying fixed wing planes, and I'm not, so that's why he's here to help me not crash this right out of the gate.
We'll see.
But let's open up this plane and take a look. So we're going to try doing this standing up and see how it goes, since we don't have a table. We spent like 3 hours getting this shot set up, so we don't want to move. That was me being picky. By the way, I've got Tim filming for us today. Very much appreciate his help. It's like a real crew here today. So let's see, this guy, oh there we go, comes up. This is the first trick to see if you're ready to fly a plane is, can you open the box?
While standing.
Get ready for that awesome sound. Oh,
all right.
So there it is. So it comes with instructions, which hopefully we won't need to refer to. Styrofoam wing, it's all made of styrofoam it looks like.
Yeah.
And there's the fuselage.
Right, it looks like it is largely put together. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Oh,
it isn't going to require too much for us to go. I mean, it's
all the servos and the receiver and the speed controller, everything is mounted inside here already. It looks all wired, ready to go.
And briefly, why is brushless motor better than a brushed motor?
Yeah, you know, like you were saying, I don't have experience with this brand, but I have bought over the years several like beginner kind of toy planes, and always have been very disappointed because the number one problem is they're underpowered.
Okay.
And so by having a brushless motor, that's already a good sign that this thing's going to have some power and it's going to be efficient. And so just looking at it, I have pretty high expectations. Like, I think it's going to fly pretty well.
Nice, and it's kind of breezy today. Here's the little bag of goodies. It's got a spare prop. It's got the landing gear. It's got some, what did you call those things?
Struts.
Struts.
Looks like struts to support the wing.
Okay.
So we've got 2 plugs, and it looks like there's two
slots. I'm
Um,
guessing this side is for this side and that side's for that side.
yeah.
So this is this a little flight controller in here? I mean, is that considered a flight controller like from a drone, or is that just
I doubt it. I would imagine that's just a receiver.
Okay.
And so that's just getting the signal from the controller and then sending it out to the servos.
And what about that down in there? There's another little board.
That is the speed controller.
That's the ESC.
Yeah, the ESC.
Okay.
And so that's what controls the speed of the motor.
And that's what a brushless motor needs, is an ESC to.
Yes.
And that's why they're so much better, because you can control them a lot better.
You can, and they're just in general, they're a lot more powerful for their weight.
And they last longer.
And they last longer.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So when in doubt, check the manual. And fortunately, this one has a pretty good manual.
RTFM.
Yep. It's in English. It's got great diagrams and explains a lot more than you actually even need to know. So what we just missed was that there's a Y plug for the ailerons. And of course the ailerons are the control surfaces in the wing.
And they make it do this and this, right?
Right. They make it bank.
Make it bank, yo.
All right. So there's no markings for which is left and right. And a lot of times with Y connections, it doesn't matter. And so we're just going to arbitrarily plug these in, and then once we get close to flying, we'll kind of go through the little checklist on what you always want to check before you fly, and that's when we'll test to make sure the ailerons are going in the correct direction. There's a style of flying that's called bank and yank, and essentially with that style you ignore your rudder and you bank, and then you pull the elevator back so that the plane goes like this, and then you turn like that. Bank and yank. Otherwise, it's called a coordinated turn, where you coordinate with your rudder and your aileron so that you kind of do a smooth turn around. So this is nice because a lot of times these little planes will just have rubber bands that attach the wing, and having a screw is
Just try not to drop it.
a little bit of safety until you drop the screw.
Here it is.
All right.
Is it a magnetized screwdriver is the question. So now we're going to put the struts on. Yeah?
Oh yeah.
So the struts will mount right under here.
Yeah. And this plane is kind of based on a Cessna 172 or 152. And so these struts should look very familiar if you're familiar with that plane or those planes.
They just pop on. It's really nice because you don't need a lot of tools to do this.
Yeah, this is great.
And these struts actually just help keep the wing from coming apart.
Yeah.
Or falling off.
Yeah, it helps manage the G-forces when you're doing a turn.
Yanking and banking, baby.
Yanking and banking, or a flip, or a loop rather.
Oh, you gonna loop it?
I don't know, we'll see.
All right, and then your landing gear, finally, looks like it goes right here. Now,
in that slot.
maybe, do we need to put the battery in first?
Let's go ahead and put the battery in. Oh, okay, I don't know if you guys can see that.
It is stabilizing.
It is stabilized. See, as I move it, it counters my movement. So like, if the plane is flying and it banks right, this aileron goes up, this one goes down, that would bring it back level. So
Turn it really far. Let's see.
Yeah, well, it will.
Gives
It's
it
kind
more
of based on movement, not necessarily like how far. Oh yeah, it goes up a lot. And then let's see yeah, the rudder too. Okay, so pull back on the elevator. Okay, push forward. All right, and then left rudder. Okay, right rudder. Okay, that's all correct.
Yeah.
All right, well, the
left
control
aileron.
surfaces are moving correctly.
That's good. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, we figured out that it does need to be calibrated as far as the gyroscope goes. It is self-leveling, so we want to make sure that's right. Just like a drone, you want to set it on a flat surface. And with this one in particular, you pull the sticks down and out, and that is supposed to calibrate the gyros so that it will know what level looks like. I think we're ready.
Yeah.
All right, so Park's got the XK remote for the plane. I've got the remote for the Mavic Pro Platinum, and we're gonna see if we can do a little chase in the air. So I'm gonna get in the air first, and then you'll take off?
Yep. Yeah, so we're first gonna try to take off from the ground using its landing gears. I'm not giving this a very high chance of success, but we're gonna do our best. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are in the air. Man, that thing took right off. That worked great. And it's a breezy day, so we're using wind to our advantage, definitely on that takeoff.
Oh, there you are.
But now I'm feeling pretty good control in this breeze. It's a very light plane, so it's getting tousled around a lot. I am at full throttle. I don't, even in this light wind at full throttle, once I'm going, flying upwind, it's pretty slow. It's actually almost hovering. But honestly, for a toy plane, or rather a plane this size, without that brushless motor and that 2-cell battery, there's no way you would even be able to fly in this wind. All right, and that stabilizer.
There you are. Oh my God, you just flew right over me, like 5 feet away. That was awesome.
Wow, that was accidental.
Collision in the floating car.
Sweet.
You got it as well?
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, I'm not worried about the plane, but that would take my Mavic out.
Yeah, the gyroscope in this is making this thing super easy to fly. And in these gusty conditions, that makes all the difference in the world. As a beginner, you know, gyroscopes would definitely help a lot. I don't think in this plane you can turn the gyroscope off, which is fine, but it's one of those things that once your skill gets better and you want to progress to a bigger plane or a plane without the gyroscope, then to improve your skills a bit, because the gyroscope, you know, definitely is making up for lack of ability, and so I don't think you could really progress that far with this plane, but it's a great starting point, and then you just have to upgrade to a bigger plane once you want to start practicing more of the flight controls.
And so one other thing, Park, one other thing I want to point out is that Park is an experienced pilot, and while he's making it look pretty easy, one thing you got to keep in mind with this kind of plane is there is no GPS. You can't hover, you know, that's obvious, but you know, a lot of people don't realize that if they're used to flying drones. And finally, the orientation, left to right, right to left, it all has to do with which way the plane is facing. If the plane is facing away from you, everything is great. If the plane is facing towards you, whoa, everything is backwards. So just keep that in mind.
I almost hit a tree. Yeah.
You're killing it. That's awesome. In a good way, you're killing it. There it is. Yes. Nice. That was sweet. Do that again.
All right.
So yeah, if you go right over us. Sweet.
All right. I think the battery is starting to get low.
Oh, yeah,
so just to give you an idea, I have not used the rudder once.
Okay. Yanking and banking.
Yanking and banking, and really just kind of turning. There's not a lot of elevator control. And so the elevator, all right, my battery is dying. I'm going to go ahead and just land because it is basically landing on its own. Well, hey, that was a very successful flight.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Awesome job.
I am impressed with this little plane. And you know, this controller too is pretty cool. Like, it's got a LCD readout, and it tells you your values and stuff, and it's got trim controls. So this is a really good intro, you know. It has similar function as a bigger controller, so I think, you know, to be able to upgrade later would be no problem at all. All right.
Boom! That's Park. All right, so a good friend of mine's father once said, low expectations are the key to a happy life.
Very true.
I had very low expectations on a windy day that this little guy was going to perform, but man, it blew my low expectations away.
Yeah, totally. I agree. I really didn't think we were going to get it just to take off the landing gear, but it did fine. I mean, we had that a little bit of a headwind that helped us out, but it took off within probably about 3 or 4 feet rolling on the ground, and then once it was in the air, I could fly it just fine. It did not have a whole lot of elevator control.
And that might be something that's adjustable.
Absolutely.
We didn't actually read there may be a different thing you can put that on. Yeah, as a matter of fact,
yep,
there is. You see, you could move that down one.
Yep.
So you could actually move what is that called, the push rod?
Yeah, it's the linkage. The push rod connects to this linkage.
So you can move the linkage down one and you'd get a bit more, right?
Yep. But it's kind of cool that in a plane model, a model plane this size, that you have those kind of adjustments that you can do. You know, that's pretty impressive.
And as far as the flight time, we didn't time it, but we think we were in the air somewhere between 6 and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, totally.
And constant flying and pretty heavy wind, so you were having to use some throttle.
Yeah, I had it full throttle pretty much the entire time.
Okay. And in all fairness, the battery actually was not fully charged.
Yeah,
I threw that on a charger.
Is tiny little battery, and these are pretty inexpensive.
Oh, very.
So you could buy several of these, and you could fly all day without a problem.
Yeah. So overall, would you say thumbs up, thumbs down?
Oh, I give it a thumbs up. It's a great beginning plane.
And if you want to learn more about planes, drones, RC cars, all that good stuff, where should people go?
I don't know. Where should they go?
Ready, set, drone, baby.
Let's
do that
Park,
again. Thanks so much for coming out today. It's been a lot of fun. If you wanted to buy one of these guys for yourself or as a gift for somebody, the link is in the bottom description, and I would appreciate it very much. Park's going to be joining me for some more videos, I hope, and we're super excited, and we appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time on Ready, Set, Drone.